So here we have the unwrapping of the Apple iPad memory foam case. This one's come from the iPad itself, bought off eBay. There's various prices on there, various times. Auction prices starting at 99p. This one was $6.75. Comes with a double zip either side for easy access to the iPad. There's a nice logo on the front. Looks well made, double stitched. And opening it up, there inside is the memory foam casing. Again, the double stitching all the way around makes it a good quality product. We'll just press our finger into the memory foam. Can't see that black against black, but it's rebounded straight away. And of course it obviously holds your iPad in situ without it moving around. And there's a double layer around the rim all the way around that stops anything sliding around. This one is suitable for both the original iPad and the iPad 2. On the reverse of the case there is the white embossed sealed plastic reinforced stitching, and back to the front, and again the outline all the way around and sealed in the centre. All in all, pretty good value for money, and I'd recommend one of these for your iPad.